So what do you think it was more of a business thing or a personal thing that led to the end of the Joe Budden Show?
Personal.
Personal,
for sure. Because I mean, it all relates back to personal at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, even when you're working with your friends, you take business personally.
Yeah.
Because it moves
you boys
differently.
With Joe first? Like
before the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
were
friends.
Yeah, friends before that.
And then we're like, what we should do is a show together. Or was
it
like
he
had a show and was like,
he's
because he's this is kind of his MO. And,
for sure.
Revolving door of people.
Absolutely. I mean, the quote unquote content game came at the perfect time for his career. I feel like he had been around long enough, had really started to understand what was going on, and then it became lucrative to just talk. And it was like, oh, great.
That kind of like curmudgeon, fuck it, I'm gonna let it rip. I'm that.
Yeah, man. No,
I got some anger to get off, some thoughts to get off, for sure. Good timing. But so he approaches you to jump on.
So him and Marissa Mendez, shout out to Marissa, had started, forgot, February 2014 or 15.
Okay.
Whenever NBA All-Star Weekend was in New York, if I remember correct.
Okay.
And I was more or less, I wouldn't say producing, but, I was uploading all the stuff, creating all the pages, doing the artwork.
Yeah.
I taught myself fucking Pro Tools just to edit shit. Like, I was just doing that type of stuff. And around episode 5 or 6, Joe was like, just sit here, man. Like, because
let me bounce off of you.
Yeah, it was just certain things that he wanted to talk about that maybe Marissa wasn't privy to or just wasn't her interest or anything like that. So I was just a third mic kind of chilling in the background and would come in whenever, and that just slowly built into an actual podcast.
Yeah.
So,
and then all is good, or was it always like kind of rocky behind the scenes and like this all like when did shit start to get like tense? Did it happen fast, or was it like this is getting more and more
tough?
difficult?
It's tough to say. I feel like you're always the last person to know about yourself.
Yeah.
So there may have been tension prior to that we didn't even really notice, or maybe thought it was just how friends act with each other. But yeah, I don't know if there was really a pinpoint into it, but things fall apart slowly.
Right.
A lot of times,
and
things start
it's like
adding
a relationship.
up, and
it's like a divorce, man. It's like. All of a sudden you look up and you're like, man, we are not like the same couple. We're not the same team.
Yeah, like when one drastic thing happens, the reason it can break up everything is because for the past few years, things have just slowly been rocky. It's not that one moment that breaks everything up. It's everything leading up. And it's like when that moment happens, it triggers everything else and it makes more of an explosion.
Did you have any moments that you were like, prior to the breakup, being like, so maybe months, weeks, years prior, where some shit went down, you were uncomfortable with it, and were like I should have spoke up and said, like, Joe or Ma, like, fuck that, you shouldn't have said this, you shouldn't have done that, and you let it slide? Like, do you have any?
Yeah, which
you could have like salvaged it if you along the way? Because I think about that with like my marriage, where it was like, if I'd spoken up 5 years earlier, then we wouldn't even be in this spot now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why hindsight is 20/20, and every bad situation shouldn't be in vain, and learn from it and all that corny bumper sticker shit. But of course, I think the three of us would take full accountability in not communicating things correctly. But then that also, even on a deeper point, I think is just male friendship. And we just don't talk to each other like that.
No, never.
Like,
never,
and
let
everyone's
it
cool. Fuck it.
It'll be fine. But then, male friendship, and then you mix in business and shit, and then particularly with the podcast world, like there's ego and there's some insecurities involved.
Absolutely.
And like, our Erica, our CEO, is, she came in and she was a woman and it was a big deal, a female at Barstool. And she says one day when she's all done, she's going to write her book. And I think what she said, she's going to call it something like men are chicks. Men are the biggest chicks. Like the same,
oh my God.
The same thing that the stereotypes that we apply to women. She's like, you guys are the ones who are catty and gossipy and backstabbing 100%. And insecure. And so, when you got fans who are taking sides, and you've got, it's just a powder keg for like, if this doesn't stay in balance, it's gonna blow the fuck up.
Yeah, and at least women get it out by
by
gossiping and group chats and men should dabble in group chats more to get all this passive aggressiveness out. Because we just boil it up and then explode. And then we die.
And we fucking die. Yep. I'm going to keep all my emotions deep down. I'm going to push it into my fucking toes, man. And then it's going to eat at me until I'm unhealthy, and then I die.
Yeah.
That's the blueprint. And I know it, and I'm not going to change it.
It's the reason why men lead in heart attacks. Like, when was the last time you heard a woman having a heart attack?
Never, man.
But I'm sure there's a 40-year-old outside right now that's I'm on my third one. Yeah. And it's all because
driving
he's
myself to the hospital. I'll be all right. This happens a couple times a week.
All because he's suppressed every emotion he's ever had in his entire life.
It is very hard to, nobody out here is having sympathy for a white dude. No one, especially someone in like a relatively easy gig, podcasting. No one's gonna have sympathy for it. But it is not easy, man.
I hide that I'm a straight white male as much as I can.
I said to my buddy who dabbles with Spotify and the business side of all this, and I said, how can I get even a fraction of the Alex Cooper bag? And he's like, honestly, the only thing I can come up with is just turn gay. If you guys are a gay podcast, you have a whole new audience, a whole new angle, you're good to go. And I was like,
you were saying 5-year plan. That's in like my 2-year plan. I just have to find the best way to do it.
I think me and Feidelberg, we could pull it off, man. We're already halfway there. We're already a fucking like, yeah, he literally sucked on my neck, man. And like, we got all these dudes. All these dudes are in our audience. Man, I would kill it if I was gay. I just don't want to have sex with a dick, man. That's the only problem. The only thing stepping in the way is that I don't want to blow a dick.
I mean, I haven't tried and failed.
True. Maybe I like it. Maybe
I can
it's like
tell.
Like a food until you try it.
I can just tell there's certain things that just aren't for me. Mm-hmm. And like, listen, with my fiber issues that I've had, I've had
a disaster back.
I've had so many doctors put their fingers in my ass, and I'll be honest with you, it doesn't get easier. Like, it doesn't get better.